Hey, hello. Just working on knocking out the weekly delves. Sure is a lot to do this week with the uncapping of the crests. I spent most of the first part of the week, of course, raiding on my main, but then there's a lot of gear upgrades to do, so I had to grind out some killed crests. Once I got her pretty much in place, then you gotta go either do mythic dungeons or the 4 raid bosses on all your tunes, so you can get the puzzling cartel chips. That was kind of a lot of stuff to do this week. We're already on Friday night. Yeah, hardly have done anything on the alts. Though I did get my puzzling cartel chips, and I got myself a Jaster's diamond for this tune, which is pretty cool. But I got a whole ton of gear to upgrade on this one. It's alright. I just did a couple of delves. Side Street Sluice was quick enough. Though there is a little bug that's happening right now where sometimes you'll kill one of those mobs that drops the power-ups, but then you go to pick up the power-up and it says, hey, you have an unfinished choice and you can't pick this up, even though you just started. Oh, hold on a second, let's see. I'll just kill everything. But then you can't pick up any of the power-ups throughout the entire delve. So I looked on the internet and somebody said the key is, or if that should happen, that bug, just Alt F4, so you exit the game and then you can log back in, and it'll keep you in the delve and it'll let you pick up the prize. Small irritating bug, but not the worst, I guess. This little pack is tougher than I thought they were going to be. Oh, there's 2 web friars in here. Guess what I should have done is dragged them in front of these big guys. I assume these big guys still kill everything. Let's see. Actually, was I supposed to pick up something back here? Let me double check. Yeah. I need that pheromone bomb. Oh, that's right, so I can see them coming. Okay. I'm pretty sure they still kill people. Yeah, I'll keep an eye for that. Oh yeah, here, let's test that out. Come here, little guys. Alright. Oh, yeah. Okay. I like that. Just like the, well, the minecarts don't quite do that anymore in Earthcrawl, but they used to be pretty effective in that manner. So I did a Side Street Sluice, and that went pretty smooth. And then I hadn't been to the Sinkhole in a very long time because I remember that I didn't like Sinkhole. Number one, I was looking around for those bubbles so you can breathe, and then I just remembered it wasn't actually very much fun. Alright, see if I can get everybody over here. Alright. Squish, squish, squish. Whoa. Hey, somebody hit me hard. Huh, that's interesting. Pretty sure he went right through those guys. They didn't hit him. Okay.
I know you can do better than that.
I think I was going this way. Anyway, so I was doing a sinkhole, and though that delve actually looks pretty nice, I think it's one of the more poorly designed delves that they created, because you have those little bubbles that you have to go and get air pretty constantly. You know, you don't get much air. Yeah, let me go into these guys with quite sure why they were hitting me so hard. I died so fast. There we go. So yeah, you got these little bubbles everywhere that you got to get air from. But the way that delve is designed, it's not an open delve, so you got to follow the little underwater paths. And there's edges that if you go over, you'll die. You fall into the open ocean or whatever. And all that's good, except that they give you a speed boost when you go get a refresh on air, which doesn't really work very good when they put the bubbles on the edge of the little walkways. So you can't even stun that gossamer webbing, doesn't look like. Maybe. Oh yeah, you're trying to make it through there. You gotta constantly go looking for air so you don't die. And then on top of putting the bubbles that give you a speed boost and parking those right next to the edge of the walkway where you're gonna fall off and die if you hit the bubble and you're headed towards that edge, you're gonna go shooting right off the edge. Which I did actually, but and on top of that they had these big area of denial, big blue circles that if you go into, you start getting like these AoE attacks, kind of like Nightfall Sanctum does. But difference is the AoE attacks actually do absolutely no damage to the mobs. It makes it a pretty difficult delve. So, you know, I got several tunes, and there's a lot to do every week. So generally, I try to do efficient delves, which, you know, you're talking about Fungal Folly is usually pretty quick and easy. Earthcrawl Mines is not usually too bad. Let's see if I can pull this web fryer. And you got Side Street Sluice and Excavation Site are both fairly quick too. So there's a lot of fairly quick delves. And then if you see something like Sinkhole, which is just kind of a pain, you're going to want to try to kind of skip that. It is a shame because otherwise, I mean, they did a pretty good job on the visual design of that delve. It looks pretty good. But mechanically wise, yeah. Said I don't know why you would number one, put the little bubbles as you're moving underwater, right? You're moving slowed anyway, and not the same as it normally is in game. But you put that near the edge of the path where you can fall and die, And then as soon as you pick up that bubble, which you're desperately trying to get to because you're running out of breath, you get a speed boost, which can send you sailing off the edge. And then they take the little space that you do have on the path, and they block it with these big area denial type effects, which you can run through as long as you keep moving. You know, you won't get hit by the AoE, but still. Yeah, kind of a shame on that one. Even the last boss in there, so he was, that scenario, he was summoning up a bunch of, I don't know, big tentacles coming out of the ground that kept slamming. But same thing in that fight too, so they slam on the ground, they have a big trail that you can't go through. But then, once again, you gotta go get a bubble like every, I want to say it's less than 30 seconds, but maybe it is just 30 seconds. Will be interesting once we get... Oh, where's the rest of my pheromones? I see. Once we get the overcharged dells, which we're going to want to grind. Then I think if what I've seen of the overcharged dells, there's some different effects going on. At least at first, I guess we'll be unlocking things that help negate some of those effects, but looks like this person's been hitting me. But if you got even more aerodynamic effects on that limited little paths to Sinkhole, like I said, while you're trying to deal with running to grab air every few seconds, it's not going to be very much fun at all. Hey, you know what though? That said, Blizzard has done a pretty good job overall on the delves. I mean, there's certainly plenty that aren't too bad at all. And yeah, Sinkhole is one I generally try to avoid, and Tokrathon Abyss as well. This one's generally not too bad. Though I did get squished by that little pack out of nowhere. Alright, I don't think I need anything from those guys. Remember this scenario, there's actually no end boss, but you do have to kill an awful lot of mobs. We're all guarding these little pheromone things. It seems like these guys are hitting kind of hard. My inferior warrior's generally pretty self-sufficient. Let's see, undermine explosive guys. Okay. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're always a little tricky. Well, you know what? Maybe it's a little laggy. Maybe that's what's happening. have kind of noticed this week that seems to be a little bit of lag in the game that I didn't notice before. It's not constant lag. I can see my frames per second is 163 right now. But sometimes when I'm just rotating in a circle, I can actually see the frame skipping. And it's not happening right now, but I saw it earlier today. I don't remember seeing that. I would have noticed that was happening last week. Alright. So I got all the... all the pheromones done. So yeah, if I remember right, then once you've killed a whole bunch of mobs and gotten all the crates, then it's actually pretty easy because you're just killing 3 of these guys. Yeah, and that was it. So I did get squished once in this run, which I don't usually get squished too often anymore, but I tell you, this one's still a lot better than, we're in the Underkeep, of course, but it's a lot better than the Sinkhole. I hadn't been in Sinkhole in at least a couple months, and I don't think I will be going back to Sinkhole for at least a couple months, unless it's one of the overcharged delves, and I really want to do that. I did like it this week. I guess they know we're grinding crests, and they try to. I think they must be trying to get more people to get back in these delves too, because now instead of just the 10 extra or 10 gilded crests from the Delver's Bounty chest, I got 20, which is a nice little bonus. Because there are so many crests we got to grind this week. That's okay with the trade up. I think I saw something back here. The ability to trade up your smaller crest to get to the gilded crest, that helps a lot. Then I managed to get, so my mage was at maybe 670 or so. And then when we had Tuesday, so yeah, a lot of grinding of the crests. And she had some gilded piled up because I haven't got a lot of mythic pieces. So I actually had a lot of gilded crests, relatively speaking. So I was able to upgrade all her crafted gear by the 2 steps, and then upgrade the heroic pieces by the 2 steps and get up to 675, which then is giving you a pretty nice gilded crest discount for all the rest of your tunes. So instead of 15 to upgrade each step, it's only 10, and that was pretty big actually. So that does mean still that's a lot of gilded crests you still gotta go and farm up on everybody. So this will be a busy week. I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep up on everyone. Anyway, hey, thanks for sticking with me through a little run through Underkeep and a little bit of talking about the delves. With the overcharged delves coming up and then horrific visions, we'll have plenty of more grinding to do. So hopefully you can get caught up and get most of our gear all upgraded as much as possible. So we're not trying to do all that new content and grind at the same time. Well, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.